How's it going, brother?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, Tuco, we do things a little bit different here. We actually have interactive podcast where we have like our community on the stream as well, and they can interact and send us questions for you as well. We do have some good questions for you. So, to get things started, just everyone, we're having on Tuco Tokkos. He is a light heavyweight UFC fighter, and let's just get straight started. Jump right into it, man. Who got you into MMA?
Um, no one really. I kind of just fell into it, if I'm honest, man. Um, like my mum's from Brazil. I was just doing all kind of things in London, and I was like, I should do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, man. Like it's part of my heritage because I'd never been to Brazil like my whole childhood. And I was like, fuck, I should do something Brazilian. Like I'm Brazilian, so I started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I was decent at that. I was like winning a lot of comps and shit. And then my coaches was like, "Don't be a pussy, man. Have a fight." So I just started fighting. But I'm not like one of these guys. Like I say this every fucking podcast, but like these guys that start training when they're fucking 5 years old, doing wrestling and jujitsu and shit. Like I had a whole life, man. I was getting money, fucking bitches before I fucking started training.
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah, bro, I'm not one of these fucking nerds. It's like when they were 5 years old with a bunch of medals, like, I'm going to be a champion.
Yeah, like a robot programmed into
Yeah,
it.
bro. And to this day, like, my coaches hate when I say it. My teammates hate when I say it. But yeah, not that I don't give a fuck about fighting. Obviously, I train and I fucking take it seriously. But yeah, bro, it's not in my heart like that. I got no aspirations to be a champ. I just like to scrap. But I'm in the UFC, so fuck it. It's lit.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Kind of piggybacking off the last question, man. Who was like coming up when you were working your way into the UFC? Who
Yeah.
was your biggest inspiration that you looked up to?
Fighting wise, or
Just all around, just anything. Just
yeah,
who did
like
you look up to?
fighters, bro. Again, I'm not one of these guys that like I don't care about nobility and all this shit. I like the juiced out fucking Brazilian monkeys, like the mad guys who was fighting in pride, juiced to the gills, fucking each other's bitches, dojo storming, doing crazy shit. Yeah, I like those guys. That pride era of just juiced up Brazilian fucking animals. Like I liked Arona. Do you remember Arona in Pride?
I think I've heard of him, but I don't know too much about him personally.
Bro, yeah, you guys must be young.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 23.
Arona, Shogun. I like Shogun
Oh
because people
yeah.
used to say I look like him. All those guys, man. I like the Gracies when they was in Pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the guys.
Hell yeah,
So, more on an MMA career, losses. So,
Yeah,
are losses simply demoralizing or do they actually have a means for improvement?
bro. I don't take like, and I'm one. Maybe I'm deranged in it, but like all my losses, I feel like they were just lucky. Like, like I've got a few losses now, innit? But like even my last loss, like I had a game plan. It was a bit. It didn't really. It worked a little bit, but didn't really work out. That's not really how I fight. But I was like, oh, the guy ain't shit. The guy was big, but don't hit hard. Didn't hit me. The fight was boring. Like I wasn't like, oh fuck. Like I could beat that guy. I know if I trained for myself and I wrestled properly and I would done the whole fight camp to fight him. I didn't do it to like for myself. Like I know I could wrestle that guy for 2 rounds. I can beat that guy. I got better wrestling, better grappling. His striking ain't that good that he can hurt me. The fight before that was like short notice. The guy shot straight away, like he weren't trying to stand and bang. And I wasn't in shape to grapple. Short notice, 3 days notice, I was on the other side of the world. My loss before that was fucking against Ming Zhang. He was juiced to the fucking gills. I know that for a fact because he was training at Tiger in Thailand. All my Chechen boys were there. They're sending me videos of him fucking shooting up. But I was like, oh, whatever. And then our bout was the only bout that wasn't tested in Singapore on Road to UFC. So it's like, oh, whatever, same. If I wanted to, I could have wrestled him. He ain't shit. My fight before that, I broke my foot. I was 3 rounds up. Uh, and the other loss, it was a robbery. Like, that's how I am in my mind. I'm like, I don't feel like anyone's really beat me fairly. I'm not saying I'm shit, bro. I've never said I'm a world beater. But that's how you asked how it affects me in my heart. bro, I leave the cage and I'm fine, bro. My life's set. I got a great life. I don't need the money from fighting. I've never met another man I'd rather be. So I don't care about these fighters, you know what I'm saying, that beat me in a fight. And that's what's annoying sometimes. When you're in the UFC, obviously there's a lot of trolls, but it doesn't affect me, bro. My skin's so thick. After the last fight, people was messaging me, "You're fucking ass. You shouldn't be in the UFC. You suck," and all this shit. They just want to get a response from a UFC fighter. But
Oh.
I just send them a picture of me with cash all over my bed, mad cash. Yeah. I'm like, sorry, I can't hear you. There's too much cash in my fucking ear. Say that again. But yeah, bro. Honestly, I don't take nothing to heart, man. It's like,
You're living the life.
yeah, bro. It's like I don't need the money from fighting. It's just lit. I like to scrap, innit? That's it. So yeah, I don't feel none of these losses in my heart.
That's an awesome way to look at it. Kind of going off that, I have another question for you. What's your favorite? Do you like to stand and bang more, or do you like to grapple more? You said you like to scrap quite a bit.
Bro, that's the thing. Like when you're in the UFC, there's the pressure to win more. Like whereas coming up, I didn't care about winning. I just wanted to fight. So it was like I would bang. I'm not a guy who really shoots. I got good jiu-jitsu, I guess. I'm a black belt. I got submissions. Um, but yeah, like if guys shoot on me, I would sweep, I would submit or whatever. But usually I bang. I stand and bang. If I drop a guy, I follow him down. If I can't TKO him, I get a submission. But when you're in the UFC, there's the pressure to win. You start strategizing, and it's like, and I saw that in my last fight where it was like, damn, that ain't even me, man. I should have just banged. But every time I sat down and I punched, my corner's like, move your feet, don't stand with this guy. Second round, I'm shooting like, so it's like, I don't know, man. There's the fighter that I am, which is a brawler, but then the fighter that I become depends on the opponent, man.
All right,
Fair.
awesome.
How has your life changed since you started mixed martial arts?
Well, since I moved to the States, I moved to America like 7 years ago, and it's I'm not one of these guys that's like fight and save my life. Like I wasn't a junkie like all these guys who are junkies and they fucking fight and save my life. But it did. I stopped doing a lot of stuff I was doing um, because I was able to use fighting as a means to just legitimize my life. You know what I mean? Especially now being in the UFC, I can take pride in that and say like I fight in the UFC as opposed to just saying, oh, like I train or a lot of these guys they got like they're 2-0 and they go around saying, oh, I'm a professional fighter, but they're still working at Walgreens or whatever. But now I can legitimize my life and the things that I've acquired in my life through other means. I can now say attribute that to fighting and yeah, I can take pride in it, you know. And I did make it to the UFC, so it's like I can take pride in that, even though I dismiss it and I'm like, hey, I don't care about fighting, you know. But it's still a big achievement, and I do feel it sometimes. Like when I'm leaving the hotel and getting on a bus to go to a fight, like for my debut, I was thinking about where I come from and all the people that I grew up with, and I was like, damn, your boy's about to fight on ESPN. Like, that's wild. Um, so yeah, it's good. Not that it's given me purpose or anything like that, but it's given me a sense of pride in just the journey that I've had is was worth it.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Speaking of wild things, what's it like training with Brendan, Mr. All In himself?
You know what? He was at my house. He just went home to get his family because he's coming back for camp. But he stays at my house when he's in fight camp. Um, that's my boy, man. Brendan's like my little bro, and he's crazy. No one really understands him. Like you have to know him in the gym and know him personally. Like he gets a lot of hate from the fans because they only see him in interviews and in the cage, and I guess he looks like a dick there. But if you know him, you know what a good kid he is, and like how funny this guy is. Like I tell him, be yourself on camera, but when he gets on camera, he just does all the fucking like military talk and he says the right thing. But this guy is so funny. He's real Louisiana swamp trash. He's he's the funniest guy. He's like, ask anyone in our gym. Like, he's just the class clown, constantly joking around. But the boy's got skills, man. I know he just took it L, but I still think he's the best in the world, man. Honestly, and I'm not saying that because I know because I'm terrible. So I'm a good measure. I'm a good measuring stick because I've trained with all these guys. Bro, I'm telling you, I've trained with Chimaev. I've trained with everyone, bro. I've trained with Imamov. I've trained with Imamov. I've sparred Imamov, you know? And I still think Brendan is better. And I can explain it, you know what I mean? It's not just an opinion. I can explain why. Um, but yeah, he's got another fight February 22nd. Ah, it's a shame he's not here. I would have brought him in on the podcast.
That would be.
Oh man, that would have been
Yeah.
awesome.
But hey, moving on from that one, a lot of people that look at the sport and look at fighters, they think that, fighters are just hotheads with egos and that kind of
Mm,
thing. But kind of like you just said, a lot of these fighters are just genuine people like yourself. They're just
yeah.
they're just cool people. What is your experience with that? Do you see a lot of the people that kind of play the role and kind of get in their own head and
Of
act the
course.
fit, but
Of course, man. Especially where I come from in London, like fighters, they're usually hard men. Like they're hard men. um, who are in trouble, who fight on the street and stuff like that. But in America, it's like you got these collegiate wrestlers that are fucking nerds, bro. They take their spectacles off and get on the fucking mat, and they're fucking animals. So there's such a different variety of people, and like we got guys in our gym, they're like tree surgeons, or another guy who's an accountant. You know what I mean? Other guy works for a moving company, but they're professional fighters, man. So there's people from all walks of life, smart dudes that have 1, 2 master's degrees. You know what I mean? Take a guy like Impa Kasanganai. Like I think he has a master's in accounting. You know what I mean? He's working as an accountant. Like these are some smart dudes, man. You got guys like Logan Storley, who's big into like real estate, and he's a realtor and smart dude. There's real smart guys, man. Vicente Luque, he's a fucking car whiz. This guy's like a race car driver. He could do Formula One. You know what I mean? This guy, or RoboCop Rodriguez. This guy's like he has a gift for speaking. Like in his church, he reads the Bible and he has a gift like as a speaking. So there's so many different guys that have talents that far exceed fighting. And that's why it's a beautiful sport. It brings a lot of people together.
it really does.
Awesome. Uh, the UFC. So in March they're coming back to London.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try and get on that card? Will we see you on that card?
Dude, like after my fight, I was down as fuck, but I do have a few little injuries, man, and now I'm in a spot where I need a win. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be smart. If they come to me and offer me a fight, I'll probably say yes, but I don't think I'm gonna call for one. That was kind of my internal agreement. Is like I'm not gonna ask to be on that, but if they offer, I'm gonna say yes, but because I do have some injuries, bro.
Hmm. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, but I'd love to fight in London, man. That's my city. And there ain't really a lot of true Londoners in the UFC. Like I'm a real London delinquent fucking shitbag. That's where I come from, man. From public housing. Like I grew up like when the streets of London is where I'm from. So I'm not from the suburbs or the countryside or nothing. So I would love to fucking fight in London, man, and really bring the goons to the fucking arena.
Hell yeah, like a full
That's
circle
sick.
moment for real.
Yeah, bro, that'd be fucking crazy.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
You've been at Killcliff for a while. How do you like it, and what's your favorite part about the team?
Dude, I've been there since I first came here in 2017, and it was like 3 or 4 gyms ago. Yeah, 4 gyms ago. Black Zillions just ended, and the team disbanded and separated. But like 10 of them, with Coach Henry Hooft and Coach Greg Jones, they retained about 10, 12 guys, and they went to a place called Combat Club, and the team didn't even have a name at that point. People were still calling them like, "Oh, are they like still the Black Zillions?" Then from there, we moved to Hard Knocks. And then we still didn't really have a team name. We were just like H Kickboxing from Hard Knocks. Then from there, we moved to Sanford MMA. They started sponsoring the team and bought the branding rights, I guess. Then we became Killcliff 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, 3 years ago now. So I've been there for a while, bro. When I look around, there's only like 6 or 7 guys that was there before me on a team of 75 pros. So sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm old school. I've been here for a while. But when I first went there, bro, it was still murderers row, like because there wasn't so many bodies, so it was like every round was a fucking killer. My first sparring rounds were like Kamaru Usman, Luke Rockhold when he was still good, Stefan Struve, Volkan Oezdemir, Jason Jackson. It was like Gilbert. It was just killers, bro.
That's
The list
insane.
is
Yeah, man.
insane.
Yeah, it was killers. But even now, it's even better than that. You know, on any given day in the gym, it's like it's murderers row, bro. So it's yeah, I like it, and like I'm not shy, so I got a big mouth, and I'm active in the team, and we got a great camaraderie there, and there's such a good group, and it's good because it's like everyone has someone they can relate to. If a guy comes and he speaks Russian and he don't speak English, we got 10 Russian speaking guys. We got Brazilians, Argentinians, black guys, French speaking, Spanish speaking. Like we got all manner of guys there, man. We're a great team. Just today we had like a team celebration, a team lunch for the new year. Yeah, and it was great. If you go on my Instagram story, you'll see it. Like everyone in there, everyone brought some food from their country. We were all eating. It was lit.
That's sick.
Yeah. And I love our gym because we're just one team. Not to shit on ATT, American Trash Team, but they, from what I've heard, I've never trained there, but I've heard it's like within the team they have like 7 teams. Like the Brazilians train in that corner, the Americans train in that little separate wrestling room. You got the Cubans, you got the white Christian Russians, you got the Muslim Russians. It's like there's all these different cliques. You see guys from the gym fighting each other. Didn't one of them fat Brazilian dudes fight Arlovsky, and they had coaches from the same gym in different fucking corners at the Apex. It's
That's
like, bro,
crazy.
that could never happen from my gym.
That's just waiting for a split divide to happen.
Yeah, and like when you look back at when Gilbert fought Kamaru, like that was devastating for our gym, and like our coaches didn't even go because they didn't want them to fight, but they wanted to fight because it was for the title, right? So it's gonna happen, you know. But that's the only time it happens if it's for the belt. Like we don't just fight each other for fucking money. That's not
Yeah.
what we're like. We have one team training. There's no secret sparrings or. I heard at ATT they have a curtain on the gym
Hmm.
because yeah, because some guy's gonna fucking snitch or record you or you're fighting his friend from a different gym. Our team is one fucking team, bro.
Always worried about
Hmm.
spas and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, kind of piggybacking off that. Who's your favorite person to spar with, and who is one person that you wish you could spar with, like out of anybody, retired or not?
I wish I could spar Chuck Liddell because I think he's so old school. He's trash. He looks like an old man. I'll probably beat his ass and I'll feel good about myself. Um, who's one person I like to spar, bro? I don't like to spar any of these motherfuckers.
Straight
Fuck, man.
killers, like you said.
Bro, look at the guys, man. Like, there was one day for this last fight camp where my rounds was like Brendan, Imamov, Robocop, Phil Hawes. It was like, oh my God, they was beating the fucking shit out of me. Yeah,
Yeah, those, yeah, I mean, dude, those are killers.
bro, there's so many killers there, man. So many. Sometimes there's no rounds off. It's like, fuck.
I bet that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Does light heavyweight feel like home for you, or have you ever thought about going up or
Mm.
down?
I was a middleweight before, man. I was a middleweight until like 3, 4 years ago when it was like, to be honest with you, bro, I wasn't going to fight anymore. Like the first time I took 2 losses in a row, I was like, yeah, I've done it now. I don't really care for it anymore. And then like I started getting more involved with Brendan's camps and cornering him again and again because he's an active guy. He fights 3 times a year. So I was like cornering him, cornering him. And one time, this is a story I've never told anyone this. It's quite close to my heart. I was cornering Brendan in Jacksonville, the first fight back after COVID that had fans. The arena was so hyped because it was the first fight in a couple of years with fans. And he submitted Carl Robertson. He should have got a bonus because it was like the 10th straight ankle lock or something in UFC history. Um, and he was taking his photos backstage, right? And I'm just chill. I wasn't in the photo. He's like, come here, man, get in the photo. And I got in the photo and you could hear the crowd roaring. And he says to me, bro, you could be here. And I was like, what? And he's like, bro, you're good, man. Like, you could be here. You could be in the UFC kind of thing. And I remember looking at him like, bro, I was so fat and out of shape. And I hadn't been training and hadn't fought for a little while. And I looked at him like, bro, you're out your mind, bro. Like, how could I ever be in the UFC? Like, that was how I honestly thought in that moment. Like, but he believed it. But there was in my heart a little bit of hope because I was like, well, he knows what he's talking about, like, because I knew how good he was. And I always remember that, man. I remember him having that belief in me and saying that it really meant a lot to me. And then
Real recognize real.
yeah, and I ended up getting here, innit? So it's surreal, man. But yeah, I would fucking kill myself to make 85. My God. I could show you pictures of me, bro. I was dead. I was passing out on the weight carts. That's how I know that I'm half Brazilian, because them Brazilian weight cuts, I was making it 85, bro. It was fucking killing me, sucking my soul.
Are-
Um, yeah, so my dick was looking like a fucking innie belly button. So, so I was fucked. But yeah, so I was like, oh, it's just not good for my body, man. My back and my kidneys would hurt. I was like, fuck it. I'm big enough to do light heavy. I'm gonna just do light heavy, and the cut will be easy. And the first couple times it was like no cut, but now I just put on more weight and I still cut to make fucking 205. But
Are weight cuts like, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's much more healthy now.
Absolutely. Are weight cuts like one of the roughest parts of being like a pro fighter?
Probably, yeah. When you're doing it, you're like, fuck this. That's what we always say. You get paid to make weight. The fight's for free.
Yeah, you love to do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I guess one of the last questions that I had for you: what can
So,
we as fans see from you in the year 2025?
bro, I'm gonna just go back to my roots, bro. I'm gonna fucking bang and leave it to the MMA gods. I feel like the MMA gods favored me when I bang. But like when you try and fight smart like a pussy, I don't even want to win like that anyway, man. I was thinking, I imagine I won my last fight, I'd feel like even more of a pussy. So I'm gonna just fucking bang and just get to it and see where the dice land.
Hey man, as soon as you get the mic, you're taking over with the fans. I can tell you that, bro. You're
Bro, I hope so,
hilarious.
but I always say that they'll never let me get on TV, bro. Because bro, everything's coming out. I'm gonna shout out Epstein and all these motherfuckers. I'm gonna do some crazy shit.
Well, hey man, that's really all we got for you today, but I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
And
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me. Anytime, man.
yeah, thank you, man.